When I was 8 years old, my father sold me to Master Liu's family in town to work as a maid. But as for Master Liu, he was a notorious old lecher. Any maid in his house with even a bit of looks couldn't escape his clutches. I was terrified. So I hid in the small kitchen, tending the stove and chopping wood. And I managed to hide for 10 whole years. All I wanted was to stay safe and sound. But when I turned 18, I still couldn't avoid my fate. Master Liu tried several times to corner me when I was alone, blocking me in the back garden. His foul-smelling mouth would rub against my face. I've had a fiery temper since I was young, so I would never give in to him. So I ran to tell Madame Liu in tears. But to my utter shock, Madame Liu not only didn't sympathize with me, she even called me a little whore seducing the master. She beat me brutally. Afterward, I was covered in bruises and was thrown into the cowshed, nearly left for dead. Afraid of trouble, Madame Liu called the town's matchmaker, Mrs. Zhang, the very next day. She was even willing to throw in a tael of silver as a dowry, just to get me out of the house. Matchmaker Zhang laughed and clapped her hands when she heard. How convenient. There's that half-blind widow, Mrs. Zhu, in Qingyu village, with her 3 bachelor sons. Her oldest son once married a beautiful, lovely wife. But that poor girl ran off on her wedding night. Rumor has it the 2 younger brothers were eavesdropping at the wall in the middle of the night. When Madame Liu heard this, her teeth were chattering with happiness. Let's just send her to the Zhu family. What a perfect family. And just like that, I was dragged to Qingyu village on a donkey cart and became the daughter-in-law of the Zhu family at the east end of the village. On the day I arrived, I hobbled along, clutching my little bundle, limping with every step, and circled that house of crumbling bricks and broken tiles. Damn that matchmaker Zhang, she really screwed us over. A maid dismissed from the Liu family. How could she possibly be clean? Poor son of mine, barely married and already cuckolded. Mother-in-law was so angry that night. She didn't even eat dinner, but just lay on the kong moaning about chest pains. But even if she wanted to eat, there didn't seem to be much food in the house anyway. I turned the whole kitchen upside down and barely found half a bag of millet, half a bag of mixed grain, and a bag of beans. I drank thin porridge as my mother-in-law cursed at me nonstop and learned that only a third of what matchmaker Zhang said was true. In fact, my mother-in-law has 4 sons. It's just that the eldest, Zhu Pinged, was swept away by a flash flood years ago and drowned. I married the second son, Zhu Pingyi. Pingyi left for town to help build roads a few days ago and couldn't make it back for the wedding. The third son, Zhu Pingli, studies at the Quimo Academy in town and usually boards at school. The youngest, Zhu Pingjun, is only 13 this year, and he's a lazy good-for-nothing, always wandering aimlessly outside. Nobody knows what he's up to all day. After my mother-in-law got tired of scolding me, she yawned and rolled over. After a short while, the room was filled with thunderous snoring. It was June in the countryside, and the moon was bright, the stars sparse and scattered. Inside the house, the air was thick with the acrid smoke of mugwort used to drive away mosquitoes. I stared at the kong bed, with its filthy, patch-covered old quilts. Oh heavens, which one of us is actually dirty here? I knew. My mother-in-law still held a grudge about me being a former Liu family maid. She just can't let it go. Well, now that I'm here, I might as well settle in. I'm not angry, nor upset. The next morning, I offered her a bowl of porridge and said, "Don't worry, Mom. I'm a decent person." Who knows, really? We'll just have to wait and see. By midday, the youngest Zhu Pingjun came home carrying 2 big bundles of willow branches, all excited and cheerful. He's just a half-grown boy, with ragged clothes, and his toes poking through his shoes. His face was streaked black and white with sweat, and you could tell right off he was a restless kid. My mother-in-law's eyes could barely make out a blurry figure, But as soon as she saw Pingjun come in, she quickly fumbled a few pink-white, wild peaches out of the Kang cabinet. Where have you been roaming these past few days, old scamp? Didn't starve, did you? This is your second sister-in-law. Hurry up and greet her. Pingjun chuckled and took the wild peaches, then wolfed them down in no time. After he finished, he wiped his mouth, flashed me 2 rows of white teeth, and said, "Second sister-in-law?" I replied, and brought him a basin of water to wash up. He gave his face a quick splash, then grinned and ran outside to work with the willows under the shade. Mother-in-law liked to nap in the afternoon, so I waited on her, and after she fell asleep, I picked up a broom and rag, dragging my not quite recovered body, to clean up this drafty rundown house, until it was nice and tidy. The Zhu family has 3 main rooms, bedrooms on both sides, and the kitchen in the middle. There's also a newer little side room in the yard, probably where Zhu Pingyi and his former bride, the one who ran off, used to live. Then suddenly I remembered the 2 younger brothers of the Zhu family, having heard rumors about them peeping on the new sister-in-law. I hadn't met Pingli yet, so I wouldn't judge, but Pingjun, the one sweating while weaving baskets in the yard, still looked completely like a kid. He didn't look like a troublemaker at all, no matter how you look at him. Pingjun was quite handy, and in less than an hour he'd already made 2 baskets. The fresh green color was actually kind of nice. I suddenly had an idea, so I brought a bowl of water over and asked, "Pingjun, can you weave a fish trap?" Pingjun gulped down the whole bowl of water in one big swig. He answered cockily, "Sure." "Then could you make one for me, second sister-in-law? I want to catch some fish in the river." "Nope. Why not?" "Because Mom won't allow it." "Why won't she?" "Because Big Brother drowned. Mom says there's a water ghost in the river, and it'll grab anyone who gets close." I rolled my eyes and got an idea. "It's okay, your sister-in-law is not scared." "She. Just secretly make one for me, and I'll secretly go catch some fish. If I catch any, I'll say the fish just leaped onto the shore themselves. Anyway, Mom doesn't go out much, and even if she does, she never goes to the river. Plus, sister-in-law makes really delicious fish. Don't you want some?" "Of course I do." "All right. Hurry up and weave." At the mention of eating fish, Pingjun's eyes lit up. "Second sister-in-law, you're really not afraid of the water ghost?" "Not at all. I'm the great ancestor of water ghosts. I'm the type who acts as soon as I think of something." While mother-in-law was still deep asleep, I grabbed the fish trap and went down to the creek. The water was clear, and schools of fish were leaping around. In no time at all, I'd caught over a dozen little wild fish and loaches. That evening at dinner, I brought out a dish of stewed river fish. Mother-in-law has a sharp nose. She immediately caught the smell of fish. Whoever went into the river to catch fish must be cursed. That shout scared Pingjun, who was happily chewing on a bone, so much he almost wet his pants. "Mom, she's not my mom." No one went into the river. It's just that something strange happened today. All the fish and shrimp in the river were jumping frantically towards the shore. It's as if there really was a water ghost in the river. When you were taking a nap this afternoon, I went to the base of the mountain to dig for wild vegetables. I saw a lot of people picking up fish along the shore, so I picked up some and brought them back too. Pingjun saw me lying and stayed totally calm. She secretly stuck her tongue out at me. When mother-in-law heard the fish were picked up, her expression eased a bit. They really were picked up. That's why we only have a few. I held my forehead and said, "Okay, Mom, tomorrow I'll grab more." Hey. After dinner, Pingjun, with her rounded belly, looked at me and said, "Second sister-in-law, your cooking is amazing. Let me go with you to pick up fish." How could I say no? So over the next few days, we collected a lot more river fish. We really improved Zhu family's meals. By the seventh day, Ping Junction started sulking and refused to go anymore. So I had to go to the river alone with my fish basket. Unexpectedly, as I walked home carrying half a basket of fish and shrimp, in broad daylight, out in the fields, a sharp-faced, monkey-like man suddenly jumped out. His eyes were bloodshot. He didn't say a word, acted like a madman, and dragged me into the crops. As he tugged at me, I thought of landlord Liu's stinky mouth. I got furious right then. I used all my strength and kicked him hard in the groin. The man grimaced in pain. He lashed out and slapped me hard across the face. He was so strong that his slap made my mouth bleed. My vision went blurry. I couldn't help but cry out from the pain. And that scream saved me. A tall man, filthy and carrying a shovel, showed up like a celestial hero. He grabbed me like a chick and moved me aside. Then he swung his arm and punched the scoundrel right in the eye. As for what happened next, I didn't dare to watch. The scoundrel was beaten badly. After the beating, the man who saved me stood on the scoundrel, turned and asked me seriously, "What do you plan to do about this?" I gritted my teeth. Hand him over to the authorities. As soon as the scoundrel heard authorities, he finally got scared. He mumbled and begged me for mercy. "If this gets out, your reputation and mine will both be ruined. I'll compensate you with silver." That was the wrong thing to say. It only made me angrier. You're the one who did wrong. You're the one who's lost face. I'm honorable and upright. What's there to fear? I bet this isn't your first time, dragging decent women into the fields. Once we get to the authorities, you're done for. After I finished speaking, the tall man beside me looked at me with a hint of approval. So just like that, he dragged the now helpless scoundrel to the village to find Li Zhang. Li Zhang was under the big locust tree at the village entrance, playing chess with a chubby old man. After listening to my accusation, he squatted down and straightened the scoundrel's head. "Isn't this Hu San from Lower River Village? You dare to come to our Qingnu village and cause trouble? Tired of living, aren't you? This kind of scoundrel should be sent straight to the authorities and beaten with 80 planks. If he dies, so be it. Hurry up, it's your move." Before he finished speaking, several strong men stepped out from the chess crowd. They quickly and efficiently dragged off the terrified Heosen, who had wet his pants. It was so hot that Li Zhang watched them walk away, wiping his sweat, smiling kindly, and said to the tall man next to me, "The Pingyi Road is finished. Your wife was scared today. Take your wife home." "Whose wife?" Li Zhang was stunned too. He pointed at Zhu Pingyi, then pointed at me. "What's the matter? Are you confused?" "She's your wife." At home, Zhu Pingyi rushed inside and deliberately lowered his voice to ask his mother, "What's happened?" "What do you mean, what's happened? What's going on with this woman?" "Hey, this is the wife your mother got for you. Remember when you left home to build the road? When you were leaving, your mother asked if you wanted a wife? Back then you smiled and said yes. So your wife was married and brought home. Spent a tale of silver. Listen to your mother. You can't let your wife run off this time. Your new wife is beautiful, and she cooks well too. Where did our family get the silver? Borrowed it from the Wang family." The conversation between that mother and son in the house kept drifting out through the drafty window paper. I just pretended not to hear. After fetching water and washing my face, I started preparing dinner. Thanks to Husan's trouble, most of the fish I caught this afternoon got ruined. Luckily, the hens laid 2 extra eggs today. Otherwise, it really would be tough to cook without ingredients. When smoke began rising from the village chimneys, old Fourth Pingjun smelled dinner and came home. "Hey, second sister-in-law, did you see second brother today? Is that why you made so many delicious things?" Seeing the stewed river fish on the Kong table, Ping-jun's mouth was watering. I blushed, glared at him. Stop talking nonsense. Just eat. Second brother, eat more. You must be exhausted from road work these days. Tired? That kind of work is light. Glad you're not tired. Second brother's wife. Move the bedding from my room to the side room later. Zhu Pingyi got a fishbone stuck in his throat. He coughed for a while before feeling better. Mom, what are you talking about? Everything Mom says is good. You're already 21 and still don't have any kids. Zhu Pingyi's face was both tanned and flushed. He glanced at me nervously, his eyes avoiding mine, then looked over at Ping-jun. With a bit of helplessness, he said, Why are you saying this in front of my big brother? Ping-jun was desperately shrinking like a little wild fish. I'm deaf. I can't hear anything. I was speechless when I heard this. The Zhu family is really easy to get along with. They're really treating me as one of their own. A crescent moon was hanging high on the branches. I opened the window. The fresh, sweet scent of the crops was intoxicating. After I laid out the bedding on the Kong in the side room and took a shower, Zhu Pingyi came in with a damp towel in his hand. Put this on your face. I took it from him, grimacing as I pressed it to my face.
Ouch.
It really hurts. Damn that Hussein. He deserved to get beaten like a dead dog. I know I'm good-looking, but no matter how good-looking I am, if half my face is swollen and red, that's definitely not attractive. But Zhu Pingyi looks pretty good right now. Not in a delicate, handsome way, but in a strong and muscular way, with rugged features and athletic looks. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to knock Hussein down with one punch. After putting the towel down in the side room, two strangers were sitting on the edge of the Kong, facing each other in silence. The silence lasted a long time. Suddenly, Zhu Pingyi blew out the candle. I shivered from fright. Why did you blow out the light? Candles are expensive. Better to save them. All right. We do need to be frugal. Technically, we are husband and wife with a formal marriage contract. But I'm sorry. I actually got injured while building the road. So I might not be able to take good care of you in the future. My mind went blank for a second. I blurted out. You're hurt? Zhu Pingyi fell silent again. Go to sleep. He took off his shoes, got up on the Kong and lay down with his clothes on, ignoring me. I awkwardly lay at the head of the Kong. I realized my face was burning hot, but after all the scares today, I really was exhausted. After a bit of restless thinking, I fell asleep. The next morning, just as dawn was breaking, Zhu Pingyi went to the fields to harvest wheat. Farmers eat simple meals. Mung bean porridge with pickled vegetables makes for a tasty meal. After Granny Hu finished eating, I reheated the leftover millet cakes from last night, put on my bamboo hat, and went to take lunch to the field. The Zhu family owns 3 mu of wheat fields. It's not enough work for Zhu Pingyi alone. When I arrived at the field, he had already harvested almost 1 mu. Second brother, it's time to eat. No matter how I thought about it, I didn't know what to call him. So I simply called him second brother. That way, it's neither too distant, nor too intimate. Most importantly, I can say it out loud. Hearing my voice in the wheat field, Zhu Pingyi stood up, and from a distance, walked over holding something I couldn't make out. Here you go. Where did these bird eggs come from? Found them while harvesting wheat. I was so delighted. I took the bird's nest with 4 or 5 eggs inside. Can't believe there are nests like that in the wheat field. Yeah. Sometimes you'll find big caterpillars or rabbits, and sometimes even snakes. Happily, I set the bird's nest aside, unwrapped my bundle, took out a small pot, and poured him a bowl of mung bean porridge. Have some mung bean porridge. Chilled in the well water this morning. It's perfect on a hot sunny day. You eat, I'll harvest the wheat for you. Back at the Liu family, I was a kitchen maid who cooked in the small kitchen and never harvested wheat before. The wheat field before me was golden yellow, waves of wheat rippling everywhere. It all felt so new to me, so I picked up a sickle and started harvesting wheat. But he suddenly grabbed my wrist. You rest, I'll do it myself. He was really strong, and just one squeeze left red marks on my fair wrist.
Ouch!
When he let go, he looked a bit embarrassed. If you can't sit still, go pick up the fallen ears of wheat. The harvested wheat in the field was all tied up into sturdy bundles by him. But some ears still got scattered around, which felt like such a waste. So I picked up a basket and started collecting them. At noon, he was pushing a big cart piled with wheat bundles. And I was carrying the basket, with a fainted rabbit in it as well. And together we headed home happily. At home, a delicate-looking young scholar was sweeping the floor. When he saw me, he greeted me politely. Second sister-in-law. Are you here to mediate a dispute? Why are you back today? The academy gave us 2 days off for the wheat harvest. Well, you're in luck, because your second brother found some bird eggs in the wheat field today, and even caught a rabbit. Thanks for your hard work, second sister-in-law. I couldn't handle how polite this scholar brother-in-law was, so I hurried into the kitchen. It's your second brother who worked hard. The water in the big pot was boiling. Zhu Pingyi quickly cleaned the rabbit, and I made a pot of fragrant braised rabbit, along with some griddled mixed bean pancakes. At the dinner table, the Zhu family was like a whirlwind again. After eating and drinking their fill, mother-in-law asked Pingli Sanner for her opinion. Isn't it time to pay the academy master's tuition next month? Don't worry, Mom. The county gave us some subsidies a few days ago. If I copy a few more books, it'll be enough. How can that work? You'll go blind if you keep copying like that. Sigh. Tomorrow I'll go to the Wang family and borrow a bit more. Is the Wang family really that rich? The Wang family is the richest in Qingnu village. They used to be poorer than us. But over the years, they've made a fortune selling oil-splashed noodles and running a wonton shop. They even built a 3-courtyard mansion. That house is more extravagant than the town's richest families. I can't stand hearing the word rich people. It just makes me feel uncomfortable all over. Rich people are all heartless. If we borrow from them, won't they want 5% interest? Second son's wife, don't make things up. The Wang family are good people. Back when there was an epidemic, if it hadn't been for the Wang family, I would have been in my grave long ago. And your husband? It was their second daughter who stitched him up with needles. Besides, they're kind-hearted. They've never charged interest for lending money. Are there really such good people in the world? But Mom, as the saying goes, help with an emergency, not with poverty. We can't live our lives just borrowing money all the time. Sigh. Mother-in-law also worries. That's right. Who doesn't hope for a better life? But there are just no opportunities. That night, under the faint moonlight, I chatted with Zhu Pingyi about what we discussed at lunch. Actually, the Zhu family wasn't always poor. We used to own 5 acres of land. Father-in-law was once a scholar. He farmed during busy seasons and taught local kids to read during the quieter times. He wrote couplets during the holidays. We could get by. But a few years ago, father-in-law got sick. To treat his illness, we not only spent all our savings, but also sold 2 acres of land. We ended up with a mountain of debt. To pay it off, Mother-in-law mended clothes day and night without rest. Her eyesight suffered now, she's nearly blind. After father-in-law passed away, Pingli got into the academy. Life became even harder for the family, even though he's a scholar. The county gives us a little subsidy every month, but scholars have big expenses. Brushes, ink, paper, and inkstones are all very expensive. Attending lectures and making connections cost even more. On top of that, mother-in-law occasionally needs medicine. So now we rely entirely on those 3 acres of land. And Pingy going to town to do manual labor. But how much does hard labor bring in? You can only take care of one thing at a time. Pingli has to pay a tael of silver a month for his studies. Even though he earns a little copying books or writing for others when he can, if that delays him from the provincial exam, it's like picking up sesame seeds but losing a watermelon. If the Wang family can get rich by running a business, then maybe we can give it a try too. I've been thinking about it a lot. But big sister Wang Shua can make oil-splashed noodles. And all I can do is hard labor. If you can't, I can. You can? Yes, I can make tofu. Under the moonlight, Zhu Pingyi sat up too. Does making tofu require a big investment? Right now, a peck of soybeans is 20 copper coins in town. If you buy from the villagers, maybe we can get it for even less. A peck of soybeans can make about 50 jin of tofu. We can sell each jin for 2 copper coins. Or we could trade tofu for soybeans.
I figure.
In a whole year, we might not be living in luxury. But at least Pingli can focus on his studies. It doesn't take much capital. I have a silver hairpin. Take it to town and pawn it tomorrow. Maybe it'll be enough. That's not right. Keep your own hairpin. He flat out refused me. But I blurted out, "It's nothing, just think of it as me repaying you for saving my life." The cicadas outside were chirping nonstop, each round louder than the last. Beneath the faint moonlight, Zhu Pingui lay back down. He was silent for a long time. Just when I thought he'd fallen asleep, he spoke again. "I'll think of a way to get the capital. I'll try to figure out the investment." I never would have guessed. Zhu Pingyi's solution was still to borrow from the Wang family. Second sister-in-law, that's just how country people are. Going in circles, everyone's more or less related. Helping each other out brings people closer together. A few years back, second brother helped Uncle Wang's family with farming and building their house. On Shua's wedding day, even I went over to help stoke the fire. When Pingjun saw how surprised I was, he squatted on the ground, weaving a cricket cage, and grinned at me, trying to comfort me. "All right then, second brother. Wait for me, I'll come too." After breakfast, Zhu Pingyi cleaned himself up nutlessly, grabbed a bundle of dried mushrooms, and got ready to visit the Wangs. Right before he left, I caught up with him just in time. "It's good if we go together." The Wang family lives at the west end of the village. Blue brick and gray tiles, a grand courtyard with tall gates. The house looks impressive, but when you step into the courtyard, what catches your eye is a bunch of lush green scallions and rows of cucumbers blooming with little yellow flowers. An elderly woman dressed in rough gray homespun clothes was squatting next to the cucumber trellis, weeding. "Xunyang. Pingyi is here. It's your wife. Heaven has blessed you with such beauty and grace. Could she be a fairy come down to earth?" I have an excellent impression of this straightforward older lady. "Greetings, Aunt. My maiden name is Zhao. You can just call me Liuer." All right, all right. She speaks so cleverly. "Come in and have a seat." Aunt Wang warmly invited us into her house. "You must be tired from the journey. Grab some fruit to freshen up." Aunt Wang, Pingy won't be secretive with you. We're here today to borrow some money from you. We want to start a tofu business. Should have done this long ago. If you'd thought of doing business a few years back, your mother wouldn't be patching clothes and wouldn't have ruined her eyes like this. Now we have to come and beg from you again, so embarrassing. Don't talk like strangers. Your mother used to help us mend clothes. When your father was alive, he used to write Spring Festival couplets for our family every year. It's just that Shuhua isn't here. If she were, she could tell you all the tricks of the trade. Sigh. Shuhua went to the capital again. In the capital, her elder sister-in-law is missing her twin nephews. Who'd have thought she'd get pregnant again right after arriving in the capital? Her elder sister-in-law doesn't want her to come back, to avoid all the hassle. Speaking of which, Aunt took out 5 strings of coins from the cupboard and a piece of brand new patterned cloth. Take this money for now, and come back for more if you need it. This piece of cloth is for Lior. Use it for a coat or a blouse, either is fine. Consider it a little welcome gift from Aunt Wang. How could I accept it? I stood up and tried to decline. But unexpectedly, Aunt Wang was even quicker than me. We're relatives. We'll see each other often. No need to be so formal with Aunt Wang. Zhu Pingyi is a very capable worker. Within just a couple of days, all the wheat was harvested. Soon enough, tall stacks of wheat were set up in the Zhu family's yard. Pingjun is mischievous. At dusk, he insisted on climbing up onto the stacks to lie down. I laughed at him. You don't mind getting poked, huh? The wheat awns are really sharp, but he shook his head like a rattled drum. I'm tough. With thick skin, they can't poke me. After several days of threshing and winnowing, the summer wheat season was coming to an end. And I started making tofu, with the 5 strings of coins Aunt Wang lent us. I quickly got everything together: millstone, tofu boxes, cloth, salt, coagulant, and other things. Once everything was ready, Pingy and I soaked the soybeans ahead of time, then started working in the middle of the night. The Liu family's matriarch is very picky, especially loves fresh and tender tofu. And she's so particular. She always thinks the tofu bought from the market is dirty, and insists on eating freshly made in the kitchen. So I'm very good at making tofu. Grinding soybeans, straining, cooking soy milk, adding coagulant. Put it in the tofu box and press it into shape. By the time the sun was high in the sky, 2 boxes of creamy white tender tofu were ready. Seeing the crisp green scallions in the yard, I picked 2 and made a plate of scallion tofu salad. Let mother-in-law try the first bite. She shakily picked up a piece with chopsticks, put it in her mouth, and immediately the wrinkles on her forehead deepened with delight. Tender, sweet, fragrant second son's wife. This tofu you made is just too delicious. Mom, do you think this business will work? It'll work. By the way, old Liu from the village passed away yesterday. Having a funeral today. Second son, take a few pieces of tofu over to the person in charge. If they're short-handed, lend a hand while you're at it. After all, we're neighbors. Just a token of kindness. Mom, I didn't see anyone from the Liu family come to inform us. Mother-in-law said earnestly, for happy occasions, you wait until invited. But for funerals, you show up without being asked. It's an old rule of farm families here. I came to the Liu family as a maid since I was young, so I didn't understand these country customs. Hearing this, my eyes got hot. I felt that farm folk were truly warm-hearted. So, I quickly picked out about 10 pieces of tofu from the box, wrapped them in cloth, and carefully handed them to Pingy. We're poor, but let's not be stingy, take a couple more. Pingy gave me a long look, smiled, picked up the tofu bundle and left. Before too long, he was back. Mom. Liu family accepted the tofu and gave me a length of twine. Looks like they don't need extra help. So I came home. Alright. It's hot now. So I'm heading to the town to sell tofu. It's over 10 miles from Jinyu village to Kingshan town. Pingy carried 2 boxes of tofu with a shoulder pole and headed out. Once he left, I took advantage of the sunshine and washed pillows and bedding at home. It's almost July. The heat in the mountains is getting heavier. Pillows and bedding drying on the rope were dry in less than 2 hours. I even found time to comb mother's hair with the comb and made a pot of mung bean porridge. While combing her hair, mother-in-law dodged and felt awkward and looked a bit embarrassed. Mom, why are you dodging? I can do it myself. Let me help you. I wasn't nice to you before. Her awkward expression made me burst out laughing. You've been pretty good to me. Aunt Wang said. You have a sharp tongue, but a soft heart. I can't speak for anything else. But at least I'm an okay person. The elusive Pinjun is back again from who knows where. And he's holding a delicate cricket cage. Where did you buy that? It's quite nice looking. I wove it out of wheat straw. You really made it yourself? Of course! Fans, baskets, fish traps, cages, I can weave them all. While talking, Zhu Pingyi carried his load and entered the house. Judging by his expression, business was good.
He actually sold out all the tofu.
Today I made 56 coins and collected a big sack of soybeans. Everyone who bought it praised our tofu for being fresh and tender. Those who came late really missed out. Mother-in-law sat on the kong, craning her neck to ask. Her face was all red with excitement. Zhu Pingyi put the coin pouch in his mother-in-law's hand. Go ahead, feel it. She kept feeling it, couldn't get enough. She took out coins and tried to put them in her mouth. Hey, Mom. That's so dirty. Mother-in-law didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If I'd started a little business years ago, maybe your father-in-law wouldn't have died. Mentioning the late father-in-law, Zhu Pingyi's eyes grew red too. Once we make more money, I'll go to town and get you some herbs for your eyes. I really can't stand seeing older people cry. So I hurried to comfort her. Don't worry, Mom. Our days will just keep getting better and better. All right. I heard there's an old Mr. Tian in the village who does acupuncture. I'll go ask him someday. No way. That old Mr. Tian is even blinder than I am. With that joke, the sadness in the room finally broke up. Having tasted the sweetness of selling tofu, Zhu Pingyi was full of energy. He immediately decided to soak another batch of beans. Of course I was all for it. So I soaked the beans early and blew out the candle early. Next morning before the rooster crowed, the two of us got up under the starlight to make tofu. When the rooster finally crowed, mother-in-law couldn't sleep either. She fumbled her way to the cramped, messy kitchen. She handed me a fragrant mountain peach. Second daughter-in-law, have a peach. You must be tired. I wiped the sweat off my temple, smiling as I took the peach and popped it in my mouth. Mom, you really let me have a peach. On Mom's kong, there's a locked cabinet. Who knows what good stuff is hidden inside? I've seen before. She locks up peaches she can't bear to eat herself. When no one's looking, she sneaks one out for Pingjun. Poor families spoil their youngest sons. Loving mothers dote on their youngest. Mother-in-law really treasures Pingjun, her darling youngest. But I never expected she'd even share one with me today. When I teased her, mother-in-law pursed her lips, feeling shy. But she always has a sharp tongue. She means well, but her good intentions sound kind of harsh. Go ahead, there's more after you finish. Just don't want you starving to death. Mom, listen to yourself. Mother-in-law walked off, a bit sulky. Zhu Pingyi looked at me apologetically. My mother doesn't speak well, so let me apologize for her. As I pressed the okara, I heard this, paused for a second, then burst out laughing. What are you saying? I really didn't take it to heart. Sure, Mom was a bit biased against me a few days ago, but she's learning to be good to me now. I know it. Zhu Pingyi still wasn't reassured. You really don't mind? One married into the Zhu family. I didn't get an obstacle. I got a life, not an obstacle. Now, that would be something to be angry about. One harsh word, one thing not going your way, and you could get into a nasty fight. Could end up with a broken family. Divorce and separation aren't uncommon. But living together means being considerate with each other, looking out for each other. Mom can't say nice things, but I'm not always perfect either. Nobody should nitpick. Besides, you shouldn't just listen to what people say. You should watch what they do. When I worked as a maid for the Liu family, the mistress had a sweet face but was vicious. She hit people, took advantage, sold them off. Her heart was truly cruel. If I weren't so young back then, I wouldn't have been fooled by the smiling old woman. I suffered and stupidly went to complain to her. Lucky for me, even though the Zhu family doesn't have a good reputation, everyone has a kind heart. Otherwise, I would have been stuck in a pit for life. Thinking of all those dirty things in the past, I couldn't help but feel sad. Making tofu, my heart felt cold. Seeing tears glisten in my eyes, Zhu Pingyi didn't know what to do for a moment. Amid faint morning light, he looked at me for a long time. Tried to speak several times but stopped. Finally, he just firmly said, "Don't worry." I really thought he'd spend ages brewing up a big speech, something that could shake the heavens. But in the end, it was just "don't worry." Sigh. As expected, you can't expect too much from a rough countryman. After the tofu was done, the sun had risen. Mom had long since made mixed bean porridge. After eating and drinking, I was soaked in sweat. Second sister-in-law, I made this for you. Do you like it? I took it in surprise, and immediately waved the fan fiercely a few times. Oh my God. Instantly, I felt cooler all over. Gotta give credit. Pingjun may be a boy, but he's more skillful than the girls. Look at this fan. The edge is smooth. The corners are crafted with care. It even has a faint wheat fragrance. If you took it into town to sell, I'm sure rich young ladies looking for something novel would love it. Pingjun, I see you don't like studying, and you don't like farm work either. What do you want to do in the future? Pingjun scratches his head. He says a little embarrassed. I just like wandering around. Wandering around doing what? What are you messing around with? Just wandering all over the place. Whenever I see something new, I like to fiddle with it myself. All right then, we're almost out of cooking oil at home. I want your second brother to go to the mountain and catch something to make some oil. See if you can come up with a handy fork. Let's make it clear first. Our family doesn't have much money. You'll have to figure something out yourself. That's not hard at all. Second sister-in-law, just watch me. This kid, usually lazy and always craving good food, is finally standing tall. He's genuinely excited from the bottom of his heart. He's finally useful, huh? We made 4 trays of tofu today. After lunch, Zhu Pingyi carried the load and went back to town. I cleaned up the kitchen and then went up the mountain. Jinyu village is surrounded by mountains. There are lots of fruit trees in the orchards on the slopes. On the shady slopes, wild vegetables like dandelion and purslane grow everywhere. I dug up 2 full baskets in no time. When I brought the wild veggies home, Zhu Pingyi hadn't come back yet. So, I took the fish basket to the river to catch some small fish and shrimp. When we made tofu in the morning, there was some leftover soybean pulp. I mixed the soybean pulp with coarse flour and chopped, washed purslane, and stirred them together. I made a pot of purslane cornbread. When the purslane cornbread was on the table, Zhu Pingyi came back carrying the load. Sold over 100 coins today. Collected more than 20 pounds of soybeans. The remaining 4 or 5 pieces of tofu I gave to Aunt Wang when passing by her house. Aunt Wang insisted on giving me money. Since I wouldn't accept it, she forced a piece of cured pork on me. Looking at that long and fatty chunk of cured pork in the basket, I couldn't help but laugh. If she forces it on you, just take it. Aunt Wang said if I didn't take it, then I wouldn't be allowed to visit next time. Wow, I've been in Qingyu village for almost a month. I just realized I basically wasted my last 10 plus years at the Liu family. Turns out, compared to wealth, simple village customs, enthusiastic help, and the determination to live a good life, that's what really living is about. At night, after Zhu Pingyi finished his bath and came inside, blushing, he handed me a wooden hairpin. Today I saw someone selling these in town, so I bought one. How much was the hairpin? Why are you spending money carelessly? 6 coins. For you. It's not really careless spending. By candlelight, I touched the simple peach blossom on the head of the wooden hairpin, and the more I touched it, the more I liked it. What girl doesn't like jewelry? Back when I was at the Liu families, I secretly saved up for several years and bought a silver hairpin. But I didn't dare wear it every day, afraid I'd bring unnecessary trouble to myself. But now there's a man willingly giving me a hairpin. Though it's not worth much, it fills me with delight and clears away all my fatigue. I grinned and stuck the wooden hairpin into my hair. There's no mirror at home, so I stood in front of the water tank, using the water's reflection, looking happily from side to side. It looks good. Zhu Pingyi stood nearby holding the candle, turning his face away, too shy to look at me. Even though he tried to act calm, his words couldn't hide his joy. You didn't even look at me. How do you know it's good? It really does look good. Didn't Aunt Wang give you some floral fabric? When you have free time, make a dress and wear it. You'll look even better. I was planning to use that fabric to make a pillowcase for Mom. The pillow Mom uses is just patches and looks pretty shabby. You should make yourself a new outfit instead. Don't worry, I'll make more tofu in the future. I promise you won't suffer financially. From that day on, he got up early and slept late. He sold 5 or 6 trays of tofu every day. If it didn't all sell in town, he carried the load and went to nearby villages to hawk it. Subtracting the costs, by the end of August, he could actually earn nearly 100 coins a day. Though it was pretty tough work, with summer not even over, he already looked a lot thinner, and I felt a bit worried about him. So I started paying even more attention to what he eats, and saved all the good food for him, afraid he'd wear himself out. But every time, he'd pick out the cured meat and river fish in his bowl and give it to me. You're weak. You need the nutrition. I'm a grown man, I'm fine. Besides him, Pinjun has also surprised me. I asked him to make a wooden hunting fork, but he whipped up a bunch of things at once. This is a horn fork. This is a 3-pronged fork. This is a meteor hammer. And this is a slingshot. Even Zhu Pingyi, who's usually strict with his younger brother, was shocked. How did you come up with these? I saw them when I was wandering around and just made them. Second brother, let's go try them out on the mountain. Let's give it a try then. Zhu Pingyi is a straightforward guy. Without a word, he took Pingjun up the mountain. 2 hours later, the brothers came home carrying a bag of game. I opened the bag. Whoa! 4 wild rabbits, 6 pheasants, 7 or 8 fat birds I didn't know the name of. Quite the haul. The rabbits are fatty but low on meat. I'm thinking of making dried meat out of them. The pheasants have a thick layer of fat, so they're perfect for rendering oil. As for those birds, I'll let the brothers decide what to do with them. Roast or grill them, whatever. I bet that's not even enough for Pingjing to fill the gap between his teeth. When Pingley came home on school break, he saw all the changes at home. His scholarly face was filled with shock. Mother-in-law sat happily on the Kong, touching the new floral pillowcase I made her, she said. It's all thanks to your second sister-in-law. I'm sorry, second sister-in-law. Pingley is great in every way, except for this habit of bowing to people at the drop of a hat. That really makes me uncomfortable all over. It's nothing else, just feels too formal. So I instinctively waved my hand at her. We're all family, no need for formalities. Next month's tuition has already been saved up. From now on, just focus on your studies. Stop copying books for others and delaying your education. Pingley was stunned. He turned to look at his mother, who was busy fawning over the new pillow. And didn't have time for him? Then he looked at his second brother. His second brother was busy making tofu, and had even less time for him. Helplessly, he could only use his eyes to ask his fourth younger brother. It's true, second sister-in-law is even sending me to town to learn a trade from Carpenter Zhang. From now on, I'll live in town just like you. Is the fee for learning the trade enough? Carpenter Zhang provides food and lodging. But after I finish learning, I'll have to work for him for 3 years for free. Pingley was moved. He pulled a silver ingot from his chest and solemnly handed it to me. Second sister-in-law, you don't need to worry about my tuition anymore. I got first place in the recent examination tour. The academy not only waived my fees for a year, but also gave me a 5-tail scholarship. Keep this silver at home. Second sister-in-law, use it to buy whatever we need. For a moment, everyone in the room was stunned. What? A 5-tail scholarship? This academy is way too generous, isn't it? They're so open-handed. The academy's scholarship only started a few years ago. I heard it's sponsored by a wealthy family in the capital. That godson of second Uncle Wang's was the first student to get a scholarship from the academy. Oh, I know. You mean Wang Senan. When I was a kid, I talked behind his back, and his crazy sister hit me with a stick. Didn't he pass the provincial exam and go back to the capital? Yeah. He's the best student at Quimo Academy. Second brother, you're not bad either. Around these parts, how many young scholars are as young as you? Getting fat early doesn't count. Getting fat later crushes the Kong. Sir, your dad used to say when he was alive that you're smart and have good ideas. Don't worry. You'll definitely make it. Mom, it's really up to you. You're the backbone of our family. Keep this silver safe. Who wants to be a fleeting benefactor? Whoever runs the household does the worrying. From now on, I don't want to bother. Mother-in-law's face was clearly beaming with joy, but she deliberately scolded and pushed the silver back to me. I hesitated a bit. Having just come into the family for just over 2 months, becoming the household manager. Village gossips are talkative. Would it stir up unnecessary rumors for no reason? But when I looked up and met the eager gazes of the whole family, that hesitation vanished instantly. Behind closed doors, living our own life, who can mind us? The Zhu family all have quick wits. Although Zhu Pingyi isn't very literate, he makes up for it with hard work and reliability. He's always been the one to take charge. Now, with the family's tofu business, he can manage it well all by himself. So I was thinking of buying a few more acres of hillside land to grow peach trees. Who knew? As soon as I brought up the idea of buying land, Zhu Pingyi said, "We already have 2 acres of peach grove on the hill. But peaches don't keep well, and they spoil easily. There's no point in growing them. Can't we make dried peaches or peach preserves for storage? Peach kernels can also be made into peach kernel soup. In town, a bowl of peach kernel soup sells for several cents. And I've tasted the peaches from our Qingnu village. They're sweeter than the ones commonly sold in the market. There used to be several lime kilns in our Qingnu village. I heard the soil on the slopes is mixed with lime. So, our peaches are uniquely sweet. Hey. But the mountain road is hard to travel. These things don't store well. We only get to enjoy them fresh each year. The more I hear, the more tempted I am. Mom, I want to buy 2 more acres to try. I'm not against buying land. But maybe you should buy farmland instead. Mom, trust me. Let's buy hillside land. Don't ask me anymore. If you've got the ability, you're in charge. The peach tree land on the slopes of Qingnu village was indeed cheaper than the farmland at the foot of the mountain. 3 taels of silver for 2 acres. Since mother-in-law said that, I gritted my teeth and insisted on buying 2 acres of hillside land. Zhu Pingyi also brought back good news from town. The butcher Liu in town took me to a few familiar restaurants and taverns. Our tofu is tender, smooth, and delicious, unique and unmatched. Now 3 places have placed orders with us. We can earn an extra 60 or 70 cents a day from tofu. Which Uncle Liu? Speaking of Uncle Liu, indirectly, our 2 families are even distantly related. He has a daughter who married the grandson of Aunt Wang's family. It seems country folks are more warm-hearted. Today's a double blessing. We should celebrate. Zhu Pingyi watched me jumping for joy and couldn't help but curl the corners of his mouth. He pulled a set of pork offal from his load and waved it in front of me. Extra dish tonight. Maybe I was seeing things, or maybe I was overthinking. But how did I, from this rough man's face, see a hint of indulgence? That evening, I busied myself in the kitchen and cooked a table of dishes more lavish than New Year's. Mother-in-law was happily sending Ping Jun to the neighbor's village that brews wine to buy 2 jugs of cheap wine. Ping Li went back to the academy. Ping Jun was also going to start as an apprentice at Carpenter Zhang's in 2 days. This meal was a farewell feast for Ping Jun. It was stuffy inside. I set the Kong table next to the cucumber trellis in the yard. The whole family sat around the table, ready to enjoy a nice family dinner. But who would have thought? Before anyone could pick up their chopsticks, a carriage stopped outside the main gate. After a moment, a thin old man in a maroon robe stepped down from the carriage, craning his neck and peeping shifty-eyed into the yard. Zhu Pingyi stood up and asked in a deep voice, "Who's there?" In the half-yellow, half-gray twilight, that old man had sharp eyes, and he spotted me at a single glance. With just that one look, he burst into loud wails, startling all of us. And he came rushing at me while crying. His face was covered in snot and tears. "It's Liuer. Daddy's good girl."
Dad?
That skinny old man was about to hug me. Zhu Pingyi quickly pulled me behind him. Then he reached out with his other hand and grabbed the old man's collar. "You young man. Why are you pulling me, old man? I'm here to claim my daughter." "I don't know you. Who are you?" I hid behind Zhu Pingyi, staring hard at this skinny old man claiming to be my dad. Honestly, I thought he was an imposter. I have arched eyebrows. He has broom-like ones. I have almond-shaped eyes. His eyes are dull and lifeless. I have small cherry lips. He has a huge bloody mouth. No matter how you put it, there's no way he could be my father. When the skinny old man saw me looking so shocked,
His hair almost stood up with anger.
"I'm Yao Yuanbao, your father, Zhao Liuer." "What, you don't remember at all?" I shook my head like a rattled drum. I was sold off when I was 8. Now it's already been 10 years. Even if he is really my father, I barely remember anything. Besides, the way he's dressed isn't reassuring at all. He actually looks more like a child trafficker. But my father's name really is Xiao Yuanbao. Seeing I'm still not convinced, the old man gets flustered and annoyed. He pulls a wrinkled cloth slip from his pocket. This is the written agreement made with the Liu family back then. There's no way this could be faked, right? In this courtyard, aside from Zhu Pingyi, who knows a few words, the rest are pretty much illiterate. I took the cloth strip from his hand and looked at it carefully. Soon he turned around and nodded to me. My mind went completely blank. Could it be that this really is the father who exchanged me for 800 coins? Oh wow, our in-law is here. Second son, why are you standing there in a daze? Hurry and invite your father-in-law to a seat. No wonder mother-in-law is the backbone of the Zhu family. While Zhu Pingyi and I were still in shock, she had already quickly put on an enthusiastic smile to welcome the guest. Zhu Pingyi was stunned for a moment, but quickly got with the program. Father-in-law, please take a seat. Who are you calling father-in-law? Don't pull me, don't pull me. Why are we drinking? Drink. I'm not drinking. Hey, this wine actually smells pretty good. Alright, I'll give you some face. Pingjun is a clever one. He knows his second brother is usually very upright. Not the type for phony socializing. So he just smiled mischievously and held onto the old man's sleeve tightly, practically forced him to sit down at the Kong table. You can tell right away that the old man is a drunk. As soon as he smelled the wine, he couldn't take his feet off the ground. So with a little encouragement, he just stayed. Zhu Pingyi isn't great with polite words, but he's a great drinker. After a few big bowls of cloudy wine, the old man's tongue was tied up, but his mouth finally opened up.
Hey,
If it weren't for having no other choice, who would want to sell their daughter? But that year was the big drought. I was a widower. I couldn't raise the kid alone. Selling her meant she could at least have enough to eat, right? What? You want to know how I got rich? Honestly, it's a bit embarrassing to say. One year I found a young lady's hairpin. Who knew her husband would misunderstand and beat me up, broke several of my bones. I couldn't just get beaten for nothing, right? So I made a fuss. Their family paid me 10 taels of silver. I took that 10 taels and leased a barren hill. Can you believe it? That barren hill actually had a mine in it. Lior has been motherless since she was little. Worked as a maid for over 10 years. Almost got ruined by that bastard Liu. Lior, you've had such a hard life. Don't worry, from now on you have your dad around. I'll make sure you eat well and live well. And find you a good family. I sat across from Zhao Yuanbao, watching him 1 second wiping tears, the next grinning foolishly, rambling nonsense. All I wanted to do was bury myself in a hole. God, what are you babbling about? I'm already married. Oh, right. My daughter married you. That's fine. You can hold your liquor. You're not bad. From now on, we'll get along well, heaven witness. Spare me, please. What kind of dad is this anyway? Zhao Yuanbo got dead drunk and stayed at the Zhu house with Ping Jun that night. In the side room, Zhu Pingyi just wouldn't lie down. He tried to say something to me a few times. My face was burning hot, and I felt really uneasy. But I'm not the sort who can keep quiet. That Liu landlord really did have bad intentions toward me. But I trust you. He cut me off firmly. And all the messy thoughts in my head were instantly cut off like tangled threads. Suddenly, everything just felt smooth and easy. From the day you insisted on sending Husan to the magistrate, I've known you're a brave and upright girl. My face flushed even deeper. My whole body felt like it was on fire. I'm not that great. Why did you get Zhao Yuanbao so drunk today? If we didn't get him totally wasted, how would we get the truth out of him? What if that indenture wasn't real? Didn't expect you to be so clever. It's better to be careful. But judging from everything he said, he should really be your father. Are you resentful towards him? What do you plan to do now? No, I can't say I resent him. But I can't say I'm close, either. After all, I barely remember him. I'll just treat him as a regular relative from now on. He did sell me during the big drought, but he wasn't wrong about one thing. Back then, he was an unreliable widower, with a little girl to take care of. If he hadn't sold me, I probably would have starved. Back then, plenty of people starved. Some things in this world just aren't worth fussing about. What else can you do? Just muddle through, I guess. Early the next morning, after Zhao Yuanbo sobered up, he mysteriously dragged me under the cucumber trellis. Liu, here's a 50-tael silver note. Hide it well. Don't ever let your in-laws find out. Although I pretended to be drunk last night, I heard they treat you fairly well. But you can never truly know a person. You need to be more careful. You were just pretending to be drunk yesterday. Your dad hadn't acted drunk and spouted nonsense, how could I get them to let down their guard? I was truly speechless. How is society supposed to work like this? Why is everyone around me so clever, while I'm the only straightforward one, almost like a fool? Zhao Yuanbo bragged yesterday. That rundown hill he bought does have a small mine, but it's not worth much. Now he sold the mine for 200 taels, and he's getting ready to start a new business in Kingshan Town. Of course I didn't want to take his money, but just as I was about to refuse, I suddenly remembered something from my childhood. Of course, even if I do remember, it's all pretty fuzzy. I just vaguely recall he was quite the womanizer. 200 taels is more than enough for his retirement. But what if he spends it all at a brothel? At that thought, I changed my mind immediately and quickly tucked the silver note into my pocket. What about the rest of the money? Where did you hide it? Zhao Yuanbo was startled and reached into his pocket again. Of course I keep it on me. I'm afraid of losing it. I reacted quickly and snatched all the silver notes from his pocket. You owe me, you know that. You saw it yourself. My in-laws are so poor. My husband only makes a little selling tofu. So I'll just hang on to all this silver for now. If I don't use it all, I'll return the rest to you. Does that sound good? After hearing that, the old man's broom-like eyebrows drooped, and he was almost in tears. Liu, how could you be this kind of person? Let me ask, have you remarried and had kids? No, I just had a fling with a widow. So that means you'll have to rely on me for your old age. But you haven't officially acknowledged me yet. Dad, it's settled then. When Zhao Yuanbo heard me call him Dad, he was so happy his nose nearly ran. Settled? Settled? But Liu, you have to give your dad 20 taels first. I need to buy a house in town to settle down. That's easy. Your son-in-law has to go to town every day to sell tofu. I'll have him buy it for you directly. The old man sighed, then turned to leave, muttering to himself as he walked. I've been a scoundrel my whole life. How did I end up with a daughter more ruthless than me? In the morning, Zhu Pingyi made 5-spice tofu. After Zhao Yuanda had breakfast, he had nothing to do, so he started scolding his son-in-law with a pout. I can tell you're too stubborn. Just this little bit of tofu. The restaurants already take it all. Do you really need to hawk it door to door? Father-in-law is right. You should set up a workshop. Hire some people to grind soybeans and cook soy milk. You shouldn't just make my daughter do all the hard work. Your son-in-law obeys. You're still new at business. I hope father-in-law will give me more guidance. All the frustration he took early this morning was finally vented onto his docile son-in-law, and that satisfied him. My hometown is Kingshui Town in Yanzhou, 40 li away from Kingshan Town. My father Zhao Yuanbo was famous in the village as a lazy good-for-nothing. But somehow this scoundrel had a silver tongue. Back then, he actually fooled the most beautiful girl in miles around into marrying him. But my mother had tough luck. Within 4 or 5 years of marriage, she died of illness, leaving only my father and me to get by. Since there's no close kin left in my hometown, what few distant relatives remain can't stand him. So this time my father has made up his mind to settle in Kingshan Town. Zhu Pingyi is very capable. In just 2 days, He found a good house for him for 15 taels of silver. The house isn't big. It's on the edge of town. With a horse cart, you can get to Qingyu village in just enough time for 2 cups of tea. My father didn't hesitate. After just one day in Kingshan town, he arranged for the Zhu family to supply 3 more cases of tofu each day. After dinner, by the well, Zhu Pingyi was drawing water. I was scrubbing bowls with a loofah sponge. He couldn't help but smile and say, "I didn't expect it. Your dad is really something." That's what they mean by cats have their ways, and dogs have theirs. How could you talk about your father like that? By the way, there was a fire at the Liu family's house today. Over a dozen rooms burned. I heard some people got hurt too. I was stunned. Are you saying my father Zhao Yuanbao did it? The next day, Zhao Yuanbao drove his cart back to the Zhu household. He came in grinning, glowing with happiness. He looked just like someone delighted with some mischief he'd done. I quietly pulled him aside. "Did you set the fire at the Liu's?" "It was me." "How could you do something like that? Aren't you afraid the authorities will catch you?" "What would they catch me for? I just gave a beggar kid on the street a few plain buns, told him to cause some trouble for the Liu family. If anybody gets caught, it's the beggar kid. What does that have to do with me? Aren't you afraid the beggar kid will give you away?"
Hey, I was in disguise.
"He doesn't know who I am." "Don't worry, daughter. Your father may lack other skills, but he's full of sneaky tricks. Anyone who bullies my daughter, I'll ruin them." Honestly, it's worrisome. Sure enough, an unreliable man never turns reliable, even to the end. This time, Zhao Yuanbao came to ask me for money. He had his eye on a storefront in town. He wants to buy it and open a small restaurant. And not just a restaurant. From now on, you all just make tofu. I'll have a cart deliver it to restaurants and wealthy households. There's plenty to do. To give credit where it's due, my father's mind is still pretty sharp. Plus, he's always been great at saying the right thing to the right person. He'll tell ghosts whatever a ghost wants to hear. Not long after he arrived in Kingshan town, he made friends with all sorts of drinking buddies from all walks of life. Mid-September, the guest house restaurant officially opened. On opening day, the place was packed with guests. He wore a dark red jacket and a fancy little hat, cheerfully bustling around the restaurant. He greeted everyone with polite bows. He started every conversation with well wishes. He flattered every guest so much they nearly floated out the door. That day, one table of guests wanted to try something new, so they ordered the 8 tofu platter. When the decorative wooden box, 2 feet across, was brought out, the guests were immediately captivated by the aroma. Inside, 8 dishes were beautifully arranged. So tender and smooth, they looked like cream. "Shopkeeper, where did you buy this tofu?" "To be honest with you, we make this tofu in-house." "If you like it, sir, next time I can have our staff deliver some to your home." "All right, shopkeeper. Bring us an 8 tofu platter as well." "Sure, please wait a moment." "Shopkeeper, this table would like one too." Who would have thought? With my father's silver tongue and the chef's cooking skills, on the very first day, the little restaurant made a net profit of 3 taels of silver. They used up a full 3 crates of tofu. At closing time, Zhu Pingyi, who came to help, looked at the ledger and was completely stunned. Dad really knows how to do business. Way better than me. I saw the envy in his eyes and couldn't help but let out a laugh. I tried to comfort him. "You have your strengths too." "Let's hear it." "You're strong. You work hard and your fists pack a punch." Zhu Pingyi almost got so mad his nose went crooked. "That's it. Isn't that enough for me? I can knock out a bad guy with 1 punch." "That's pretty manly, isn't it?" Why isn't he satisfied? I think I might have offended Zhu Pingyi, because he ignored me the entire night. I handed him a sweat towel to wipe his face, and he just snorted at me. He finished, then turned over and went to sleep. The moon was bright, the stars were few. Just a man and a woman alone. Suddenly, a gust of wind whipped up.
Ban!
It sounded like something in the yard had been knocked over. Zhu Pingyi quickly sat up, got off the kang to check outside, then came back in a moment later, took off his shoes, and climbed back on the bed. He crawled over to my side. He lit a candle. "You heartless thing, here you go." He handed me a white cloth wrapped around something. He handed it to me. I rubbed my eyes and took it. When I opened it, there was a pair of pure silver earrings inside. "You bought these for me?" In the candlelight, I smiled goofily. I reached up and put the earrings on. I happily shook my head from side to side. Then I teased him for spending money carelessly again. "Remember, I have another strength. And that's spoiling my wife." He blurted out that he spoils his wife, and both of us blushed hard. Especially me. My face, as lovely as a flower, felt like it was burning. It felt like the next second, drops of red rose nectar would spill out. But honestly, I'm a bit dense. Right at that fiery, romantic moment, I blurted out the dumbest thing and asked the silliest question ever. "Did you spoil your ex-wife like this too?" Zhu Pingyi's face instantly went from red to black. "No. Why not?" "No reason. I've told you all the rotten stuff I experienced at the Liu family. Told you everything. Can't you tell me the truth for once? Why did your ex-wife run away?" I heard rumors that it was because Pingli and Pinjun, the younger brothers, gossiped about her. Do you think Sana and old Gaida are that kind of people? So what was the real reason? Zhu Pingyi clearly didn't want to talk about that woman, but when he saw I insisted, he could only sigh. My family paid 3 taels as a betrothal gift, brought her in as a bride. But that very same night she demanded 10 taels of silver, saying she was afraid all the family's money would be spent on Sana in the future. I refused. She made a scene. She even scratched my face. Mom, San, and old Gaida came to break things up when they heard the noise. She threw herself on the ground and caused a scene. Said everyone in the family disgusted her. And then? Then she cursed at us out, grabbed her bag, and ran off. I heard later she'd pulled the same thing with 4 or 5 families. I was speechless. She was just out to scam the betrothal money, right? I'd once heard an opera in town about a suave man who specialized in conning widows with savings. He scammed 500 taels of silver in 3 years. When his crimes were exposed, he was sentenced to pay back everything. He was also flogged 50 times and served several years in prison. A perfectly capable person with his own hands and feet. Instead of working hard to get ahead, chose to study all sorts of crooked ways to cheat people. Honestly, he deserved whatever he got. Even when the Zhu family was already so poor, she still came and scammed 3 taels of silver. If that's all she took, fine, but she also slandered the 2 younger brothers. That's just the worst, especially Pingli. He's a scholar, after all. He wants a career in government someday. A bad reputation could ruin everything for him. But I guess I ended up with a good deal. The Zhu family, mother-in-law is caring, second brother works hard. Pingli excels at his studies. Pingjun is skilled. Life may be tough right now, but things are clearly getting better. The business at Guest Tavern gets better every day. Don't be fooled by how rough my dad looks.
He actually has a gift of gab.
Whether they're officials, farmers, or young wives and old ladies, anyone who steps foot in the tavern, not a single one can help but praise Manager Zhao's warmth. The funny thing is, even Master Liu has become a regular customer. My dad grins widely, and every time he sees Master Liu, he pats him on the shoulder and calls him brother like they're close. He even acts super concerned in a fake way, Old Liu, is your new house finished yet? Your burn on your leg still hasn't healed after all this time. Why are you still limping? The doctor said it'll heal soon. That's great. This is the secret peach blossom brew from the capital. In all of Kingshan Town, only I have it. The price is just a little high. 10 silver taels per pot. Today you're in luck. No one's leaving till we're drunk. Actually, my dad doesn't have any secret peach blossom brew. He just mixes strong wine with well water and a bunch of questionable spices and herbs to brew a special medicinal wine just for Master Liu. This wine smells amazing, but drinking it really hurts a man's vitality. I think my dad's ways are too dirty, but he doesn't care. He even says darkly, let's see if that old pervert will ever bully young girls again. Aren't you worried he'll cause trouble for you? My dad just snorted. If that old turtle doesn't want to be the town's laughingstock, he can just try. But then again, how would he even know it was me? We're practically drinking buddies who share everything now. To be honest, I really hate Master Liu. I hate him to my core. When my dad sold me off, it was a contract signed with the Liu family's steward as an investment. Since Master Liu doesn't know my dad's true nature, let's just leave it at that. Let the wicked take care of each other. Ever since the tavern opened, the tofu from my family doesn't need Zhu Pingyi to carry baskets to town to sell anymore. My dad hired folks to bring a horse cart to Jinyu village every day and haul off over 10 crates of tofu. 3 or 4 are for the tavern itself. The rest are delivered to major restaurants and wealthy families' kitchens. Because our kitchen at home is too small, Zhu Pingyi built a shed in the yard, specifically for making tofu. He worked alone at first, but by late October, he started getting overwhelmed. So he hired the neighbor ladies to help. Why hire help? Honestly, I could do it. It's already chilly in the countryside in October, and even the end of the Kang platform is a bit cold. I moved Zhu Pingyi's bedding closer to the head of the Kang, right where I could reach out and touch him. Zhu Pingyi lay under the new quilt I made for him, looking at me both content and wanting more. You need to rest more and get your health back. Ever since he found out I was beaten half to death by the Liu family, he never let me do any hard work again. That was months ago already, and I think I'm fine now. But he just refuses to believe it. A woman's health is precious, and now that it's cold, don't take any chances. How should I put this? He's a jinx. Because just a few days later, I really did come down with a chill. Lying on the scorching hot Kang, I was under 2 thick quilts, but still felt cold to the bone. Zhu Pingyi got worried. He was about to go call for the village doctor, but mother-in-law grabbed him. How did you get a fever all of a sudden? Could she be possessed or something? After that, she fumbled around and brought back a bowl of water from the kitchen and 3 chopsticks. She placed 1 chopstick horizontally across the bowl's rim, then took the other 2, drew a few circles over my head with them. 2, 5, 8, bring guests in. 3, 6, 9, send guests off. Those who died wronged or fell sick, follow the chopsticks here. Then she tried to balance those 2 chopsticks upright in the water, once, twice, and on the 3rd try, they actually stood up. Oh, you must have run into your great-grandma. Your great-grandma always had lots of ailments before. Weak constitution. But it's okay, your great-grandma's been sent away. Just sleep and you'll be fine. Zhu Pingyi touched my burning forehead, not really sure what to believe. Mom, maybe we should still call Uncle Tian to take a look. When you kids were sick, I always cured you with this ritual. Seeing mother-in-law so confident, I actually felt much more at ease. But by midnight, I was shivering uncontrollably, teeth chattering, with an even higher fever. This time, Zhu Pingyi really panicked. He put on his coat and left in the dark. There's an old man named Tian in the village. He knows medicine. I heard that during the plague years back, He saved a lot of people. He's a lifelong bachelor, never had any kids. But later, he took Uncle Wang's second granddaughter, Shulian, as his apprentice. The Wang family is kind-hearted, and when they built their new house, they gave him a room especially to live out his retirement. Mother-in-law touched my burning body and was truly scared for a moment. Why am I not getting better? We already sent her away. Old Tian isn't young anymore, and at this late hour, who knows if he'll come. Sure enough, old Tian didn't come. His apprentice Wang Shulian came instead. Shulian is about my age, a straightforward, tall girl. By candlelight, she furrowed her brow as she took my pulse and prescribed herbs. Then she set a whole pouch of silver needles right out on the Kong table. The needles glinted coldly, each one longer than a finger. I was scared out of my wits right then. Weren't you just saying a few doses of medicine would do the trick? Yeah, I just wanted to let you know. If you don't start taking care of yourself, next time these needles won't just be on the table. They'll be sticking in you. Zhu Pingyi was pricked by him before. He couldn't help but gasp in shock. Shulian, you better put away your needles. It's pretty scary. Scaring your own wife when she's sick. Instead of immediately seeking medical help, you insist on poking the patient. Is there anything scarier than this? If pretending to be mystical actually worked, then why would you need doctors? US farmers have always lived like this, generation after generation. But it has to change in your generation. Auntie, have a seat. Let me take a look at your eyes. Wow, you really can examine them. All right. Let's give it a try. I heard there are still ways to treat this. My mother-in-law's lips were trembling with excitement. Shulian leaned down. She opened her eyes wide, carefully checked them. Then she took out a few silver needles, quickly inserted them into my mother-in-law's hair, and several acupuncture points around her eyes. My mother-in-law shivered from the pain sitting on the Kong.
Ouch.
Heavens, I'll definitely take care of my health. Zhu Pingyi couldn't bear to look at his mother-in-law, who now looked like a hedgehog. He turned away and gripped my hand tightly. Now she's behaving, right? Mother-in-law, these eyes are unlikely to fully recover. After all, what's damaged is damaged. But you can get back about 60 or 70%. My dad hurried over the next day with a horse cart. He rushed over in a hurry. Silly Liuer, the Zhu family relies on this tofu shed. Now they can earn several taels of silver a month. You really need to take care of your health. Otherwise, if you overwork yourself one day, they'll marry another one into the family. That would truly be enjoying the fruits of someone else's labor. Our Zhao family doesn't do such humiliating things. I lay on the Kong, coughing angrily. Dad, what are you talking about? I'm just saying what needs to be said. Only your real dad speaks from the heart. The kids may say nice things. It's fine, I just caught a cold. I've taken the medicine and I'm almost better. My dad sat at the edge of the Kong, looking at me suspiciously. Then why are you still so pale? But as he kept looking, somehow, his eyes suddenly turned red. Then his face changed. He furiously cursed. That damned Liu family. My dad can't sit still. Every time he visits Qingyu village, he always wanders around the village a few times. He loves lively crowds. He loves to chat. He loves mischievous kids even more. That's why he always carries a bag of candies. Whenever he sees a kid in the village, he jokes with them and hands out candy. So all the greedy kids in the village are always giggling and trailing behind him. At first, his behavior was so odd. Li Zhang almost mistook him for a child trafficker and beat him up on the spot. But now, he, Li Zhang, and the old men in the village are already close buddies. Even the village women who always gossip at the entrance will always greet him warmly when they see him. Wow, Zhu family's in-law dad is here again. This time he's come with bags of gifts to visit me. He even brought stuff for the old buddies. This is glutinous rice cake for old Tian. This is tea cake for Li Zeng. This is peach blossom brew for your Uncle Pang. I was shocked. Peach blossom brew.
Hey,
It's not the peach blossom brew stolen by that hooligan. It's the real peach blossom brew. Oh. That must be expensive, right? Expensive, but it's worth it. There are hidden talents here in Qingyu village. That chubby old man who always plays chess with Li Zeng. I don't think he's ordinary. You might never meet a person like that in your lifetime. But if you do, you have to make friends sincerely. People know what's going on in their hearts. But you can't refuse someone who smiles at you. Dad plans to treat them with sincerity. You're pretty good at adapting to different people. Silly girl, you only live once. There's only one life. But there are many things worth living for. We should try to make more good connections. Leave yourself a backup plan, right? At night, I kept thinking over what Dad said. Over and over again. Couldn't really fall asleep. These days, the Zhu family has started to live well by making tofu. But there are several tofu sellers in Kingshan town. I need to come up with more ways to make money. After Shulian gave my mother-in-law acupuncture for more than half a month, she returned to the capital. Before leaving, she told my mother-in-law, "You should wash your eyes often with chrysanthemum water and eat more mung beans." My mother-in-law, who can already make out people's shapes, was so happy she didn't know what to say. "Girl, auntie, how can I thank you?" My mom said when I was just born, she didn't have milk. Almost starved me to death. At that time, you had milk in the bottle. When you heard about it, you came to my house and fed me my first mouthful. So tell me, how should I thank you? Oh, that's something from 800 generations ago. It was just a few mouthfuls of milk. I've forgotten all about it. You've forgotten. But I never will. Wild chrysanthemums grow all over the mountain in Qingyu village. I picked quite a few in autumn. After Shulian left, I took out those dried chrysanthemums, soaked them in water every day for my mother-in-law to wash her eyes. She came up with several dishes using mung beans. One of them, mung bean curd, had everyone in the family raving about it. Second son's wife, how did you make this? It's so tender, smooth, and chewy, and the mung bean aroma makes it delicious. Mom, I'll tell you in a few days. I purposely left it a mystery. In the following days, I kept using mung beans and made about a dozen different dishes. Mismatched bean pods, bean pod meat rolls, stir-fried greens with bean pods stewed with tofu, bean pod soup, sweet and sour bean pods, fried bean wings. Braised beans, my mother-in-law was impressed. She kept giving me thumbs up. Lear. Marrying you was such a blessing for the Zhu family. Mom, I just really love eating bones. This is my improved method for making tofu. The mung bean cakes I made are both chewy and tender. They can be fried or pan-seared. They can be stir-fried or stewed. There are plenty of ways to eat them. You want to bring them to Dad's little restaurant to sell these unique mung beans. Do you think customers will like them? They'll definitely love them. The next day, Zhu Pingyi and I followed the cart carrying tofu. We entered Kingshan town together. That noon, the little restaurant hung up a new menu on the wall. Some customers wanted to try something new. After one bite, this snack turned out to be crispy and delicious, and it has a strong mung bean aroma. Its price is quite affordable too. 6 coins a plate. The world never lacks food lovers. People live for food, after all. Once someone takes the lead, the rest of the customers quickly become curious. Some started ordering mung bean salted meat rolls. Some ordered sweet and sour fighting chicken. Others were generous, directly asked the waiters to serve a full table of 8 plates for the fighting banquet. My dad looked at the crowded restaurant, couldn't help but shake his head with joy. Sure enough, a tiger father has no dog daughters. Fine, whoever's older gets to be right. Zhu Pingyi gave me a mysterious reminder to rest at the little restaurant first. He himself mysteriously disappeared somewhere. When the sun set, he finally returned, carrying several brand new large bundles in his hands. On the way home, his expression was full of undisguised happiness. Even his steps were much lighter than usual. Looks like something good happened. With you around, every day is a happy one. Did he take the wrong medicine or something? Why did he suddenly start saying such flirty stuff? But when night fell, I saw the bright red new silk in the side room, and the dragon phoenix wedding candles. I finally understood. Zhu Pingyi is planning to enter the bridal chamber. My cheeks instantly burned bright red. Standing shyly beside the Kong bed, not knowing what to do with my hands and feet. I wasn't there on our wedding day. Sorry you had to go through that. Zhu Pingyi's face was red too at this moment. But after all, he's a rough man. He can't let his shy wife take the initiative. Didn't you say you were injured before? How's it now, all better? Zhu Pingyi blew out, the dragon phoenix red candle still dripping red wax. Better or not? Try it, and you'll know. Fine, I'll try. We've been married for 4 or 5 months. If we don't try now, even the heavens will get impatient. Every day he leads the aunties making over 10 boxes of tofu and dozens of mung bean pancakes. But at night, he's not tired at all. He can fool around till late every night. Honestly, it's a little annoying. Once we're in the 12th lunar month, more and more people come to the restaurant for mung bean dishes. The number of guests keeps climbing. Mother-in-law's eyes are getting brighter and brighter. One day, it suddenly started snowing heavily in the mountains. Zhu Pingyi got up early to shovel snow in the yard, while I was in the kitchen, making a pot of steaming bean sprout cured meat soup. In the 12th month, it's customary in Qingyu village to host guests. Because throughout the year, neighbors always help each other. Today you help me. Tomorrow I help him. The day after, he'll help you again. And folks are honest. Most are embarrassed to take money. So in the 12th month, even the poorest families will warmly invite men from other households for a meal. That day, after Zhu Pingyi finished shoveling snow and making tofu and mung beans, he went to Uncle Wang's house in the village for dinner. Mother-in-law and I sat by the Kong and sewed quilts. The snow outside looked like jade. The stove on the Kong was warm and glowing. It was originally a rare and beautiful country scene. But who knew? Suddenly, there came a flurry of footsteps from the yard. Mom, I'm back. Mother-in-law was stunned. So was I. Soon, a woman wearing a floral scarf on her head, carrying a gray cloth bag, hurried in. Mother-in-law squinted hard to look at her. Who are you? Mom, I'm Ruwa, your daughter-in-law. Your eyesight has improved. Oh wow, it must be me. Praying to Buddha every day, that moved heaven. So heaven blessed me with this gift. Mom, I'm not leaving this time. Our family will live happily ever after. Second daughter-in-law. Where did this second daughter-in-law come from? Is it Zhu Pingyi's runaway wife from before? But if she's Zhu Pingyi's wife, then who am I, Zhao Liuer? I'm a hot-tempered person. Just a few words from him, and my anger shot straight to my head. Just as I was about to roll up my sleeves and get ready to fight, mother-in-law shot me a meaningful look. Oh, Ruwa! Where have you been these days? Don't you know a married woman should take care of her mother-in-law? Ruwa wiped her tears with her sleeve. Mom, I had no choice. Tell us? Why couldn't you? You know, I have a widowed mother. Before I married into the Zhu family, my mom insisted I get 10 silver taels from the in-laws for her retirement. She threatened to kill herself if I didn't agree. So I pretended to agree. Then, on the wedding day, I rushed back home, trying to look pitiful, and told her I was kicked out by the in-laws, hoping she'd soften up. But who would have thought? My mom was really cold-hearted. She wouldn't even let me return. She's a mom. You're a mom too. I missed you so much I almost got sick. So I took the chance to come back. Mom, I'm not leaving. Never leaving again. I'm going to live a proper life with Olang. As for others, don't get fooled by dirty people. She looks like a vixen. Besides seducing men, what else can she do? Mother-in-law calmly nodded. So you're saying you can do everything? Good, I'm thirsty. Get me a ladle of water. Ruwa happily agreed. Excitedly, went to the kitchen and brought back a ladle of water for mother-in-law. Mother-in-law calmly took the ladle, and in one swift move, splashed the cold water hard onto Ruwa's face. Ruwa let out a sharp scream. Before she could finish, she got slapped several times across the face. Hard slaps. Bah, you heartless wretch, you have the nerve to come here. So what is it? Heard that the Zhu family is doing well, and came back for money again? You think I'm really blind? Can't tell good people from bad? And you called my daughter-in-law a vixen. Let me tell you, my daughter-in-law was born beautiful, kind, and hardworking. She's way better than you rotten fruit. You deserve all the punishment in the world. Today I'm going to tear you apart. Don't be fooled by how old Grandma is. She has a secret move when she fights. She specializes in pulling people's hair. Ruwa was caught off guard. She was smiling happily. Suddenly, her hair got grabbed. That moment of hesitation put her at a disadvantage. I watched as Grandma pulled her hair. She dragged her hard to the ground. And she wouldn't let up. She spat several times of thick phlegm onto her face. I didn't do anything, because I was scared stiff. It's been half a year since I married into the Zhu family. I never knew Grandma was so fierce and ruthless when she fights. Turns out she could rival the butcher in the village. I thought she was just sharp-tongued. I should have realized it sooner. A widow raising several sons on her own. She must be pretty tough. So the old and the young tangled together, pulling at each other and shouting insults. Neither would let go. Neither would stop yelling. Just then, the heavy curtain was thrown open. Someone burst in, carried by the wind and snow. It was my dad, Zhao Yuanbo. Dad, what brings you here on a snowy day? I've brought you a hot pot. Hey, what's going on here? In-law, let go! Don't pull all the pretty girl's hair out. I'm the wealthiest man in town. My house is piled up with silver, enough to last 8 generations. Guess what? I took one look and decided you're the one. Why bother staying here? Come with me. You'll wear gold and silver, eat good food and drink good wine. My dad acted like a street rascal just then. In a blink, he half coaxed, half tricked her out of the house. Outside, Ruwa, who was dragged along, was suspicious. Are you really rich? Girl, you're blind. Look at this silk I'm wearing. Look at my carriage. Do I look like a pauper? Then what's your surname? How come I've never heard of you before? My surname is Zhu, Zhu Gongming. That's the name of the god of wealth.
Hey, I've got more money than the god of wealth.
Let's go. It's the 12th lunar month. Farm work is slow. A little commotion like this quickly attracted a bunch of villagers sweeping snow at the door. Zhu Pingyi. He hurried over after hearing the news. But I saw his tough and anxious face, and for the first time felt a strong surge of anger inside. After helping Grandma up, I gave her a hard glare, then angrily stormed out, slamming the curtain behind me. It wasn't really her fault, but I felt so wronged. While feeling aggrieved, I also felt guilty. Maybe I'm just too sensitive. The whole day, I just lay on the Kong listless. No matter how many times he tried to cheer me up, the tough guy who could knock out a thug with one punch,
He humbled himself.
joking and grinning, saying every nice word he could think of to me. But I just couldn't be bothered. I think I'm sick again. No appetite for food or tea. Weak all over. My heart feels like it's tangled up in wet water weeds. Always wanting to cry for no reason. Zhu Pingyi worked hard. He simmered a pot of fragrant chicken soup for me. But as soon as I smelled it, my stomach turned. And I threw up. If I'd known that woman was such a troublemaker, I'd have stayed single my whole life rather than marry her. Silly boy. Liuer, you're having morning sickness. Morning sickness? That crazy woman made you a father. What? Really? How do you know? I've given birth to 4 big daughters. Of course I'd know this. The next day, that girl got taken by me to the magistrate's office, handed over to the constable. What did she do wrong? Didn't you say you suspected she was scamming the betrothal money? But we have no proof. Hey, let the constable do some digging, then we'll have proof. Would the constable care with no evidence? See, you don't know. It's the end of the year and the constable is worrying about his report. He only caught 2 chicken thieves this whole year. He can't account for that. So I sent him a person. He was so happy, he immediately pulled me into a drink of peach wine. Tell me, wouldn't he care? Zhu Pingyi and I were speechless. Well, that's new. Learned something today. Sorry, we've been too naive. Didn't know a case could be handled this way. But after hearing the news, everyone was happy. Especially Grandma. In-law, tofu stew is on the house today. Zhu Pingyi smiled, gave a shy glance at me, beaming as he poured my dad a bowl of wine. Dad, let me tell you some good news. Liuer is pregnant. So I'm going to be a grandpa. Are you happy? Happy, my ass. My daughter is pregnant. That woman even rushed over to provoke my daughter. How could I? Her father let her off the hook. With that said, my father gulped down a bowl of wine. He put on his shoes, hopped off the bed, and hurried out of the house. Dad, where are you going? It's none of your business, you troublemaker. Half a month later, we finally found out what he did. It turns out he secretly hired 2 people, specifically to help Chief Xing investigate cases. After looking into it, they really uncovered a shocking case. Turns out that Ruwa really has a widowed mother. The mother and daughter are from another region. They traveled around, living on the road. They survived by scamming and deceiving people. Ruwa is less skilled. She could only pretend to get married, to trick some bride price money. Her mother is much more ruthless. For years, with a friendly face, she kidnapped 5 or 6 respectable women. The odd thing is, those who met her mother all praised her as a good person. If the truth hadn't come out, the victims would still be fighting to take care of her in her old age. There really are all kinds of strange people in a big world. You can know someone's face but not their heart. The better times are, the more you have to be on guard against those who pretend to be harmless but are actually dangerous. Chief Xing solved such a big case. He brought honor to the whole Kingshan town. So at the end of year review, he was not only promoted, but also awarded 20 taels of silver. He got drunk several times, crying and holding my father's hand. You're like my second father. But I don't have such an ugly son. From then on, Chief Shing and my dad became sworn brothers. They became brothers not seeking to be born on the same day, but only wishing to die on the same day, month, and year. Quimo Academy gave the students a holiday at the end of the year. Tinjun also left the Jiang family and went home for the new year. That's right, a clean conscience has nothing to fear. Spring is coming for the old Zhu family. Ever since I got pregnant, mother-in-law wouldn't let me do any work. She didn't even let me go into the kitchen to cook. Before you got married, the family ate as usual. Nobody starved to death. Now my eyes have gotten much better. Wait for Mom to make you some lamb soup. Mid-December, Zhu Pingyi carried half a sheep home from town. Besides hosting a banquet, there was plenty of lamb left, so mother-in-law often made lamb soup for me. On New Year's Eve, the Zhu family's New Year's feast was especially lavish. All fish and meat, all brought home by my dad from his small restaurant. How can I accept this, in-laws? That's nothing. The real good stuff is right here. 20 acres of peach orchard in the back hills. This is a gift from my eldest grandson. Why did you buy this? To make dried peaches and preserves. The plan isn't settled yet. Let's keep it under wraps for now. Next spring, you all should take good care of the peach orchard. Maybe there'll be huge benefits. The deed for the land is in my name. My eyes burned with emotion. Dad. My dad silently took a sip of wine. Hearing that, for once, Dad actually got sentimental. Dad's getting old. He lost 2 teeth just yesterday. The older I get, the more I feel I've let you down. What father could be cruel enough to sell his daughter? Even if we have to eat chaff and drink water, we should keep you by our side, right? If you end up in another family, who else would care for your child? Liura's dad is a scoundrel. He made you suffer for so many years. If I go to the grave someday, your mom won't let me off either. Dad, don't say any more. Said or unsaid, Dad knows in his heart. For the rest of my life, Dad will live for you. That New Year's dinner, Dad was dead drunk. He laughed and cried alternately, making the Zhu family cry along with him. Those were tears of relief after hardship. After spring arrived, mother-in-law started staying up late sewing again. No matter how we tried, she wouldn't stop. She made many tiger head hats, tiger shoes, and belly bands, and collected scraps of cloth from neighbors to make a patchwork jacket. They say wearing 100 family jacket lets a child absorb blessings from 100 families and stay healthy and safe for life. Mom, do you prefer a grandson or a granddaughter? When she was idle, I asked her with a smile. Mom said, don't take offense. Mom hopes this child will be a girl. Don't farmers all hope to have boys? I raised 4 mischievous bald boys myself. Honestly, I want to change. If it's a girl, Mom can braid her hair and make dresses for her. Dress her up like a little fairy. But if it's a boy, he'll just roll around in the mud every day. Just thinking of those naughty boys in the village. Those little rascals rolling in mud. I broke out in cold sweat just imagining it. So, looks like girls really are better. Pingli somehow found an agricultural book. Zhu Pingyi followed its advice. Pruned, separated, fertilized, and pollinated the peach trees. By April, the peach blossoms fell, and tiny green peaches grew all over the branches. He said the fruit set rate this year is much higher than before. I especially love the fragrance of peach blossoms, so I collected a basket of peach blossoms to make porridge. Peach blossom porridge smells rich and fragrant. It feels so comforting in the stomach. But seeing those more than 20 acres of peach orchard, I worried so much I couldn't sleep. How many baskets of dried peaches and preserves will that require? By June, some incredibly good news really came to Qingyu Village. It turned out that an influential person happened to taste Qingyu Village's mountain peaches. He thought they were soft, tender, and sweet at the time. The flavor lingered in his mouth, so he recommended them to the people at the palace. After the emperor tried them, he liked them very much too. He immediately gave the order and declared the mountain peaches from Qingyu Village as imperial tribute peaches. And whose family in Qingyu Village had the most peaches? Without a doubt, ours. When my father led the officials in charge of procurement and arrived at the Zhu family's home, my mother-in-law was so excited she could hardly speak. Our family's peaches are really about to be sent to the palace. Really, is that possible? This is as real as it gets. My mother-in-law's eyes became absent-minded right then. She collapsed onto the Kong bench. She was just an ordinary farm woman. No matter how big she dreamed, she never imagined she'd do business with the royal family in her life. While the officials were busy directing the convoy and picking peaches and transporting them, I quietly pulled my father aside. Dad, what's really going on here? Didn't I tell you before? That chubby old fellow in your village actually has quite a background. Later, one time while I was drinking with Chief Constable Xing, he got drunk and let it slip by accident. That old man has some connection to the Wang clan. So I paid attention after that. Once the 20 acres of peaches ripened, I picked a basket and sent them over for him to taste right away. And see, it hit the mark perfectly. Someone from the royal family? How could that be? Why not? Qingyu Village isn't far from the capital, and the people here are honest and simple. The scenery is beautiful. It's pretty much a perfect retirement spot. Haven't you heard? Every summer, nobles from the capital come here to escape the heat. They stay at the Wang family's house. It sounds like a dream. Huh. Silly girl. They gave you real silver. Does that still sound like a dream? Honestly, I was worried the 20 acres of peaches would go to waste. But unexpectedly, overnight, they were suddenly turned into a pile of heavy silver in my hands. A full 35 taels. Add that to our tofu and mung beans. And this year, my brother can earn over 100 taels. In a rural village, that's a pretty wealthy household. But it's just so tiring. Especially for Zhu Pingyi. He's gotten even thinner and more worn out this past year. But as for me, I've gained 2 full inches around my waist. Even so, my mother-in-law and Zhu Pingyi still save any good food with some oil or grease. Just for me. I pouted and said, Mom, from now on, save the lamb soup for second brother. He works the hardest in the family. What's a grown man need with lamb soup? It's you who has to eat well these days. You're carrying a baby now. You need all the good stuff. Don't worry about getting fat. You'll slim down once you have the baby. What if I don't though? Just after finishing the tofu, Zhu Pingyi walked in, soaked with sweat and tired all over. A little elegance and beauty wouldn't hurt, right? What nonsense are you thinking about? I swear, they really don't understand me. In August, after a whole night of screaming, I really did give birth to a chubby, fair-skinned baby girl. My mother-in-law couldn't be prouder. She stuck around crowds every chance she got, and brought up her granddaughter little Ayu in every conversation. Has she eaten yet? She's drinking sheep milk paste. Her grandpa brought that sheep's milk for little Ayu. You wouldn't believe it. My Ayu can eat and sleep so well. People just love her. Auntie, pick 3 pieces for me. Isn't eating tofu good for recovery? Give me 2 more. Eat more tofu. Your skin will be just as fair as my little granddaughter's. So soft and white. People just can't get enough of her. Mom, could you stop going on about Ayu all day? Worry about Zhu Pingli a little too. He went to the capital for the provincial exam a few days ago. Still don't know how it went? Hey, Pingley's young. Even if he doesn't make it this time, there's always next time. He's just a young guy. How could he compare to us? But Ayu is Grandma's precious baby. But even though she said she didn't care, I knew my mother-in-law was anxious inside. Otherwise, she wouldn't sneak off to the temple 30 li away to pray. Pingley is the most promising child in the Zhu family. Life at home has been hard these years. They'd pinch every coin and stretch it as far as it could go, tightening their belts to let him study, just so he could go from a farmer in the morning to standing in the imperial hall by evening. I think Pingley can pass, because he has the best qualities of the Zhu family. Hardworking, diligent, and clever. Most importantly, he really cares. Since he had to go to the capital for the autumn exam, it was time for me to go. This is the gift I prepared for my little nephew. Second sister, I hope you like it. Ayu was still in my belly at the time, but he'd already prepared the gift a long time ago. Only heaven knows how much effort it took for a poor scholar to save up for a silver locket. How much planning and energy it took. Pingley is a good guy. And Pingjun is a good kid too.
He's already learned almost all of Carpenter Zhang's skills.
So he made a cradle for my niece early on, and things like a hanging bed, and every item was made by hand with care. You could see how thoughtful he was in everything. Even wealthy families couldn't buy such things. But Zhu Pingyi still wasn't satisfied, and asked Pingjun to hurry and make a little wooden horse next. Ayu isn't even a month old yet. Is that really necessary? Zhu Pingyi is changing Ayu's diaper, while grinning with pride. Early bird gets the worm. Gotta prepare for my daughter's future ahead of time. Ever since he got his precious baby girl, Zhu Pingyi has been a different person. He seems more energetic now. He even declared that he would start saving up for his daughter's dowry right away. He insisted she'd get the grandest wedding send-off when she gets married. That's quite the dream. Stop daydreaming next time. A grand red wedding procession. Is that something a farmer's family can afford? Of course, Zhu Pingyi sometimes wallows in self-pity. One night, Ayu was sleeping on his left, and I was sleeping on his right. He looked at our daughter, then at me, and couldn't help but sigh softly. Wife, I'm just a farmhand. Do you ever feel you've settled for less marrying me? Well, who do you think I should have married then? Someone rich and mighty. A dashing young gentleman. With your looks, even a prince would want to marry you, haha. I couldn't stop giggling under the covers. I reached out and pinched him hard. If I'm marrying a prince, why not say I should marry the king himself? That idea is just wild. Honestly, I'll admit, I've had those sweet dreams myself. Thought about how nice it'd be to be a fallen princess. Really, every girl has dreamed of something like that in her bedroom. But that's just a dream. We know, the most important thing is to cherish the ones right in front of us. Besides, you have so many strengths. Marrying you, I don't feel like I've lost out. What strengths do I have? You're strong. Oh, come on, you're not all that. Just give it 2 more days. This isn't working. On Ayu's 1-month celebration, my dad showed up, grinning from ear to ear, driving a horse carriage. The moment he walked in, he bowed respectfully to mother-in-law over and over again. Congratulations, in-laws. That's her grandpa. Congrats to us all. Look at how adorable our girl Ayu is. Actually, I wasn't talking about Ayu. But truly, Ayu is prettier than other kids. To the point, what I meant was, congrats to you. Your son Zhu Pingli has passed the exams. Mother-in-law didn't catch that at first. Passed what exams? Zhu Pingyi, listening nearby, got it right away. He excitedly yelled in mother's ear, "Mom. Third son has become a scholar." It's true, old man. Can you hear that down there? The Zhu family finally has an official now, haha. A child from humble beginnings has succeeded. How hard that is, outsiders can hardly imagine. So many people want to leap to success. But those fish don't even get to find the biggest river before ending up as meat on the chopping block. Unable to rest in peace. How many can really leap to greatness? My dad said the news of Pingley passing the exams has reached the county. Local officials and gentry now want to connect with him. Right now, Pingley is in town, discussing philosophy with the county magistrate over tea. Wonderful, that's how it should be. We'll have to host a banquet to thank his teachers someday. We really must thank the academy teachers and all the dignitaries. We'll host it right at my little eatery. I'll pay for it. No need to trouble yourself with that. Hey, it's my honor as the old man. September 26th, guests in Kingshan Town arrived. My small restaurant held a teacher appreciation banquet that took the town by storm. On that day, academy professors, students, county officials, and villagers all showed up. Pingley stood proudly in front of everyone, polite and refined, raising his glass in respect. He looked like a peerless young gentleman. Even before the feast started, people were already discreetly asking if he was engaged yet. Zhu Pingyi and I sat with Ayu in our arms at the banquet. Watching the brother who brought honor to the Zhu family, we both found our eyes tearing up. Looking back on more than a year of hard work, we couldn't help but cry happy tears.